Welcome to SFF180 Retro, the series where I discuss older SFF novels, not necessarily classics, but still worth tracking down. In this episode, a failed attempt to terraform an alien world sends a young man on a race against time to save the lives of his fellow colonists in Kenyon's 1999 epic Rift. Hello everybody, Thomas here. As usual, your host. Thank you so much for joining me on SFF180. Now, I have spent quite a lot of time talking up the virtues of Kenyon as being one of science fiction's underappreciated great writers. The thing about Rift is, it's not even the best of her novels. It's inconsistent in certain areas of the story. It has a few characters who are just a little bit too arch and over the top to be fully believed. Kenyon has written better novels than this one. She's written novels that I have given higher ratings to. And yet Rift still stands head and shoulders above a lot of heavily hyped epic SF novels today. There is just something about this book that's captured my imagination, so that fully 10 years after I read it, I can recall specific scenes, specific dialogue exchanges with amazing clarity. Images from the narrative spread across like the full width of my mind's eye in full 4K 3D resolution. In its best moments, Rift stands alongside some of SF's most thrilling works of the imagination, and now that it's been re-released as an ebook, you get a chance to discover that for yourself. The story is set on the distant planet Lithia. Now, a couple of centuries before the book begins, a terraforming project was begun, and hundreds of human colonists were shipped off to Lithia to begin new lives there. But the terraforming project has failed, and the planet's natural volcanic ecosystem is beginning to re-establish itself, forcing most of the colonists to retreat back to their orbital space station. Some people, however, remained on the surface, reverting in most cases to cultures that are primitive and tribal. Now, I was impressed by two things here regarding Kenyon's thematic approach. One is a real sense of pessimism about exactly how realistic it's going to be to find livable environments out in deep space that we can send human colonists off to go and live in. And the other is a refusal to give up on the basic optimism that sends human beings into space in the first place, that gives us our sense of discovery, our need to reach out and expand into the universe beyond. We are a very stubborn species, and I guess that's our gift and our curse all rolled into one. Reeve Calder is the 24-year-old son of a research scientist aboard the station, where hostile factions have developed over the question of whether or not to attempt to re-terraform Lithia or move on and find another world to colonize. Interestingly, going back to Earth does not seem to be an option. When sabotage forces the evacuation of the station, Reeve is one of the few who make it alive down to Lithia's surface. But his escape vessel is separated from the others, all of which landed successfully in a vast rift valley where heavily active fault lines and volcanism could be useful in helping to either restore the planet or destroy it. But Reeve knows that the station's erstwhile captain has a sinister and even sociopathically self-serving agenda that the failure to re-terraform Lithia will serve. Now Reeve is a man on a mission to make it hundreds of miles across the surface of a hostile world in order to thwart the captain's plans. Accompanied by another station survivor and two primitive human surface dwellers, a quasi-feral girl named Loon and her protector Spar, Reeve undertakes a journey fraught with perils worthy of Frodo and Sam. He's abducted by pirates, captured by a Mad Max-like gang of crazies who want to genetically re-engineer people so that they can now live on the new, hostile, re-establishing ecosystem, and all the while, the increasingly hazardous environment on Lithia is taking its toll on Reeve's health. Now, sure, he naturally develops this, peculiar attraction to Loon, which is kind of neat in the way it plays out in the story. It's sort of like she's Tarzan and he's Jane. He is the product of a purely artificial environment, while having never experienced native soil firsthand, but she is entirely a creature of nature. But even Loon has a secret that could bear upon the future of humanity's survival on Lithia, if it is to have one at all. Now, there is a whole lot of novel going on here that is set against the kind of canvas that is on a scale that only science fiction can provide. Now, if you love world building, prepare to be immersed up to your eyeballs in an unforgettable and most of all, alive environment. Now, there are some over-the-top elements, like I said, but there's also some breathless suspense and excitement, and the genuine feeling when it's all over that you have truly been transported to another time and another place. It's time that a new generation of readers discovered Kenyon, and if you enjoy this, if you like Rift, be aware there's a lot more and a lot better where this came from. And that is all I have time for on this episode of SFF180 Retro. Remember, the most important thing, these are reviews. You will not always agree with me, but if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe to the channel. That is how SFF180 grows. We're closing in on 1,500 subs, so let's take it over the top. And until I see you guys next time, happy reading.